now is a good point in time to give you an update on what's happening. So there's not going to be a Better Artist episode this week, and it might be that there won't be one the next week, or perhaps even the one after that. And I know it's not that big of a deal because most of you don't even watch it, but I know that a few of you do. So for those of you, I do apologize that it's going to be taking a moment until I can get back to those episodes. But I know most of you are happy to hear that because it means that there's going to be more music far sooner. And the reason I'm delaying the Be a Better Artist episodes is because I need more time to work on my next album. Making an episode usually takes about a day's worth of work. I film it and then I edit it. It's not that much, but it's still time that's taken away from my other work. So the album is looking pretty good. All the compositional work is done. All the arrangements are done. All the parts are played in. So from that perspective, everything's great. But I'm currently at the stage where I need to turn it into a good sounding actual piece of music. So I'm fine-tuning a lot of the orchestral parts, making sure the parts are perfectly played the way that I want to. Then I need to program those parts, need to do a bit of housekeeping, some preliminary equalization and cleaning up the audio, and simply making it ready for the mixing and mastering stages. Now, mixing and mastering doesn't tend to take me too long when it comes to this orchestral stuff because a lot of the mixing is already taken care of during the productional processes, and I have a system in place that makes it quite streamlined and straightforward. So that's the good part of making orchestral albums. A lot of the work is already done when you write it, when you arrange it, when you play in the parts. The arrangement helps a lot in making the mix work and making the mixing stage simple or simpler and easier. But the stage I'm currently in is the most time consuming. It just takes a lot of hours, and days are like nothing when it comes to this sort of work. Days go like that, and there's really no way around that fact. I just need to sit there, I need to grind, I need to hustle, I need to make it happen. And it just takes hours, and there's unfortunately no way around that, at least as long as I need to do all of that work on myself. And since I can't pay anyone to do it for me, it has to be me. This has really very little to do with anything creative, and it has more to do with just fine-tuning things and getting a bit technical and doing all the work that isn't all that exciting but just needs to get done in order for me to be able to make this a great sounding piece of music. But outside of this technical, tedious stage, I'm really excited about the music. It compositionally, I always want to push myself to do something new, something better, something bigger. And I think that same applies to the productional quality of the music itself. So improvements in the production and the mixing, everything. I just want to make it sound more realistic and make it sound more dynamic and bigger and better. I was finally able to upgrade the acoustic treatment for my studio, so that's going to make a tremendous difference. It's going to help me a ton when it comes to making correct decisions about mixing and mastering. And I definitely notice that as the demands for the compositions and the production quality of the music, as those increase, it definitely takes a lot more to deliver on those promises and to execute to a standard that you know the music deserves, and most importantly, you know that is achievable. So you're always learning new things, and although certain things become easier and more familiar, there's always new stuff to learn, and that requires more work from your part, more time. So although I'm becoming better as a composer, as a producer, as an audio engineer, the workload isn't really declining at this stage. It is still growing. And although a lot of the processes are easier and more familiar than they've been before, there's always new stuff. But it's super exciting because I'm learning so much. And I can also see certain things growing and developing and becoming better. So it makes me very excited to work on the music and get it out there and give you an even better and better musical experience. I had to take my coat off because for some reason it's really warm today, although it doesn't look like it, but I'm going to be using that branch as a coat hanger. So if you want to stay updated on the development of the album, you can follow me on social media. I'm most active on Instagram, so that's where you're gonna have the best opportunity to see how it's developing. So for those of you who haven't been following or don't care about social media, this orchestral album is pirate themed. So it's full-on orchestral stuff with some of the appropriate period instruments added in, but you can very much expect an epic pirate orchestral experience. But I'm going to talk more about that once the album is actually ready. I want to build a lot more content around the albums, speaking about the concept behind it, the ideas, the compositional driving elements, arrangement, stylistic, everything that really comes to mind. I really want to open up these albums a lot more than I have so far. So I'm going to save that for later, and you can expect to see a lot of video material surrounding the album and the individual songs. But so far, I'm very, very proud of the work, and therefore I want to do my best to make it the best it possibly can be. So more videos to come in a couple of weeks. In the meanwhile, thanks for staying interested. Thanks for subscribing and following and supporting. And thanks for your patience. This is a one-man show, so things can get a bit hectic at times, and I've certainly learned that I tend to put a bit too much on my plate. But I'm getting better at that, and this is partially a part of the execution of that pursuit. I'm gonna head back to the studio and get back to finishing this album. Finished.